Hey there, folks. Martha Fraser here. You're very welcome to the Online Business Coffee Break, and great to see you in. Hey, Kim, how you doing? I'm going to bring you up as a panelist. So sorry I'm a bit late. I had a small technical difficulty. Anyway, we're back on track now, which is great. I had set the webinar to expire on Friday because initially I thought I was just going to do 2 weeks of this, and I just decided I'm just going to keep going. I'm not sure how long for, but we just keep going. So today we're going to talk about goal setting, Corona goals, I'm calling it. Hey Kim, how are you? How are you doing? Do you want to come on there? Say hello.
I'm here now, yeah. Not too bad, not too bad. After just getting over the initial three groups there, it was lovely.
I want your top with the stars.
Oh, do you like it?
Oh, I want the top.
That's the new gear.
Oh, it's lovely. Oh my God. I want something like that for Global Online Stars. Oh my God. Giving me notions now. You have to put me in touch with whoever did that for you. It's lovely.
Oh, stop. It's great.
It's actually a nice fitting as well, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Now I got them. Oh, it's a guy from another country. I can't think of his name now, but he does all the dance tracksuits. But he does them up fairly quickly. And these are all like Sublime or something, so it's in the material. Do you know what I mean? It's all stretchy, like it's not a print on print or anything. It's actually in it.
No, because that's what I find is that it actually can come off.
Yeah,
we're all great. Okay, I have a great idea now. Global Online Stars. But I love it. So anyway, thanks for anyone who's watching this and who's going to join us, and for anyone who's watching the replay. So just to let you know, this is recorded and it is live on YouTube later. So how are you doing, Kim?
Good, no, good. Like that, I had a great morning of kind of connecting with the kids and dancing and a few of the parents. It was great crack, actually.
You want to introduce yourself, actually, because if anyone's watching this, so Kim is the founder of the Ultraflex School of Dance.
Yeah, exactly. And I suppose we're just looking at ways now to expand online and to just promote courses that we have online. And delighted that we had started the online work prior to this, because at least we were able to, we had stuff ready to go, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'm delighted. Like, I suppose there's probably about 180 kids now at the moment on the online in courses, you know, and taking part in different courses. And I suppose I'm delighted that facility is there for them, you know, because I don't know how good it will be yet to do Zoom classes, but today was a step further with actually seeing them online and chatting to them.
Yes, and your first Zoom call with the kids this morning.
Yeah. So the first Zoom call, I think it was just important, more so I think for the parents to get over that technophobe gap that a lot of people have. They avoid it because of, you know, so it was an easier approach, just going in to have a chat and have no, I suppose for me, to have no expectations of to how that call was going to go.
Just to keep people on was the achievement, and
just to keep them on and keep them, like, you know, actually for me to figure out how to mute, unmute, how to control a group of people or help a group of people in the one spot communicate with each other and how that was going to work.
Yeah, so it's learning for both you and them and the parents as well, isn't it?
Yeah, it is really. And I felt they did get that. They got a sense of it. And I was surprised, you know, with some reactions, and you take for granted because you're actually used to this now, like, because I'm actually used to talking to a screen now. For a lot of adults, not to mention kids, that is very daunting.
Very, yeah. And even seeing, I think the thing is as well, you see, even seeing their own reflection, right? Even because I mean, at this stage, like, we know what we look like, right? But kids are, you know, they're at that age where they're looking at themselves and they're kind of, you know, there's that kind of judgment thing as well, you know, for themselves.
Yeah.
That we may not even think of that, you know, because I know my sister now has teenagers, and, you know, she's saying, you know, you go through that phase where it's all, you know, thinking about themselves and that. So having to see themselves is a whole new thing as well, you know.
Yeah, I could find that now with them today, seeing themselves and hearing themselves, and, you know, being nervous of to say something in case it might be the wrong thing, or, you know, there was huge barriers broken for them today, like, and just
Yeah.
seeing some of them really were just shining. Like, actually, my senior group, I was most surprised, and I thought they'd be very shy, but
Mm,
they really wanted to talk, and they just got into it, and they started laughing and joking and messing with each other. And that's what I wanted. I said, look, if I can make it an easy transition, or a slower one maybe.
mm,
Some of them are doing violin online, and they were telling me about different things, and
mm.
piano, they're still in their
Yeah,
class.
we're doing piano online as well.
Yeah, so like some are still keeping up their activities that way. Um, but the only thing with the dance, I suppose, that I have to try and work out properly is the audio and all of that. So I've been on a few dance forums, and there's things like they've had to set up a kind of a bigger system because the audio lags behind, apparently, and then you
Right.
can't hear the music to your voice.
Okay. Yeah, it sounded okay this morning. Well, what I heard sounded okay.
Yeah. And when the music came on, like, it was probably, I don't know if it was drowning out or not, but I must just test that out.
But
You know.
it was even good. I found because my own kids were on Kim's call this morning, and I just found the fact that they actually participated, the fact they got up and did a move, and then when you got up, most of them got up,
Yeah.
and yeah, I think the thing is that for anyone who's watching this and thinking about stepping online and expanding their business and depending, I mean, like because you have kids, it's a whole different demographic of learning. Um, because at least adults, well, most adults are used to online. Not everyone, of course, um, but it's about just don't try it once and go, oh my
Yeah.
god, it didn't work. You got to educate your customers on how you want them to use your business. And
Mm.
it's because even now, even ourselves with the schoolwork, we have to log into the system now and kind of so, but once they do it 2 or 3 times, that's going to be gone, and then they're just going to be interacting even more. So
Mm.
at the start, people are kind of consumed with, am I doing it right, does it work? And once that is gone from their heads, there's space then to kind of focus on what you're actually doing
Yeah.
you
Yeah,
know
absolutely.
so I think keep going, and
Mm.
just really yeah, just keep showing up, I think.
Yeah, I think showing up for them was a big thing today. Like, I could see that they appreciated like that. And I got some lovely messages back from people saying, you don't know how much that meant to such and such today. She really enjoyed chatting to you, and we were laughing because I said to them, what's the first thing we do when we come into the class,
Mhm.
And like there was dancers from different areas, and they all said at the same time, have a chat. you know
That's
that's what we do. Like the minute they come in, it's kind of, right guys, come up here now to the top, I need to have a chat.
yeah,
And
that's
that was like the beginning of our class today. So I think bringing it to a level where they can be familiar with you online for a minute, and then taking it up a step,
exactly,
you know,
yeah.
by degrees. And that's what I'm hoping for now. It will come out of it, and even 5 more people got on my courses afterwards.
Fantastic. That's
You know?
brilliant. That's
So
brilliant. And actually, a friend of mine, because I had mentioned it to friends of mine last week, and a friend of mine, and I'd forgotten to share the link last week, and she just messaged me this morning. She said, my little one is dying to do hip hop. Will you send me that link?
uh,
So I gave her the link this morning. So
thank you.
it's really about, I think as well, turning up, showing and serving, and like you're going to reach people that aren't even in your classes right now.
Yeah,
And it's believing in what you have, it's putting it out there. And the other thing as well is using your current circle. Say, guys, look, do a video and say, I teach dance, but you may not know I now do it online, and I have 3 free courses. Could everyone who knows me please share this to your profile?
yeah,
Like it's telling your current circle about who you are and what you do. And yeah, it's just like it's that, because everyone knows probably around, well, hopefully you've 100 to 200 friends. Do
yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah,
Right,
exactly.
so
Yeah,
imagine if 200 people shared it.
yeah, absolutely.
you know Now I know we have to be careful as well, of course, with links and that on our personal profile, and promoting our business. But you could, there's something now, you could you could put it on your business profile and you could share it and then get other people to share it. So we kind of have to be careful as well we don't want Facebook to kick us off and shut us down. Not at this time.
Not at this time. No.
Let's not jinx ourselves. Let's take as much of it as we possibly
Yeah,
can.
exactly. No, I think that's a good idea, to share it, and just to try, like, I want to get people on there using the courses, because ultimately too I want their feedback on, like, the courses that are there,
Oh shit! Sorry,
All right.
I just I nearly removed something there. Yeah, and it's getting. Do you know what? A lot of it is the first while is going to be getting them to understand the technology, getting them to understand how it works. And like once they get that stage, hi Sumta, you're very welcome. Once they kind of get to that stage, then it's kind of like, oh yeah, okay, they might go, they're wanting more.
Yeah.
So it's really, I think right now, like we're into week 3 now of, well, in Ireland anyway, wherever you're watching this from, we're into week 3 of our kind of quarantine-ish, whatever you want to call it. We won't call it lockdown, because that sounds a bit depressing, I think. Let's call it rebalancing our life while the world is sorting itself out. But how are you doing, Assumpta?
Yeah, I'm okay. It's kind of a funny day today. I'm just setting up a free live webinar
Brilliant, well done.
to go out on Thursday evening. Yeah, so trying all different ways to do it. And Eventbrite usually looks really simple, but things that should take half an hour has taken me like 4 hours already.
Why? Right, do you want to introduce yourself first or something? Sorry.
So have we not met before?
No, for anyone who watches this afterwards, sorry.
Oh yeah. So bestpractice.ie is my website address. So I help GPs and their staff to be able to standardize processes in their practice and implement systems so that they have the time to be the doctors they want to be, and so that patients receive the best care and that staff are well trained and empowered to do their roles in a better, more positive way.
Brilliant, love it. So tell us about Eventbrite anyway.
So Eventbrite is Eventbrite is so what I was trying to do was see how I could do. First of all, I figured out there was a problem with the link, and I figured that out. And the second thing that I was to do was to promote it, so to do the invitations for it, and then it's saying to connect it to my Outlook file, which I haven't set up yet. It's all technical stuff that wrecks my head. I just don't work very well that way. So when it's giving me instructions that involve kind of databases and stuff like that, it fries my brain. I can't seem to.
I'm surprised because I thought Eventbrite. To be honest, I haven't actually used it that much myself, but I thought it was.
Yeah.
Why was it asking to connect with your Outlook?
No, it wasn't. It's only doing it because I was saying, well, how now am I going to let people know about it?
Oh right, okay. So I was trying to create.
Yeah, exactly. Because I'm running it on Thursday evening, so I was like trying to think of a quick way to let everybody know about it. So what I'm doing now is I'm sending out my email. I'm sending and using my whole email database and just doing a copy and paste from my email to everybody.
Right. So make sure it's blind copy.
What?
Make sure it's blind copy. That if you're doing it from your own Outlook, not to put everyone in the two. I know.
I put into BCC. Yeah, I always do BCC.
I know you know that, but just to.
Yeah. No, I always do that. Yeah.
Brilliant. So the webinar. Do you want to tell us the title of the webinar? Surviving
the next 30 days in general practice and to do with the coronavirus. Yeah.
Brilliant.
That's what I decided to do. So, and that just stems from talking to practices in the last couple of weeks. Some are nailing it, and others think they're nailing it, but there are so many ways that they could be a little bit better and support themselves a bit more.
And one of the things, can I give you a quick tip? I know you already have the title, but if you were to say 9 ways to nail it in 30 days.
So it's not a webinar. Okay. It's a meeting, so it's going to be interactive.
Oh, okay.
So I have 100 places, and I want people to come on, and I will share my few tips, but I also want them to share what's happening in their practices.
Oh,
in a
brilliant.
safe environment.
Oh, lovely. Okay, God, it sounds
Yeah.
really great. Fair play to you.
So
Yeah,
that's the plan.
yeah. No, it does sound really, really good. And
Yeah.
so you haven't shared it yet, though, have you?
I have set the event. The event is published. I now just have to promote it. Yeah. Yeah.
Brilliant. So make sure. So what are the ways in which you're going to promote it?
So I'm going to put it on my Facebook page, my LinkedIn page, my Twitter page, and I'm going to email it out. And
Okay.
I'm also going to send it to GP Buddy. They're an app that has about what do they say they have? 1,500 GPs registered or something like that.
Wow. Fantastic.
So I'm hoping they might send it out to their database.
Yeah.
And since we last spoke, there's another app called Med Cafe that I hadn't heard of them before, and apparently they're interested in me also doing a webinar to
Brilliant.
GPs exclusively. So that
Brilliant.
would be a webinar now, not a meeting. So
Yeah.
I'm waiting to hear from them today as well. So
That's
fingers
fantastic.
crossed. Yeah.
Yes, I mean the things that if you can get into groups and do it for the group,
Yeah.
you're doing it to a pre-made audience, right?
Yeah.
And you're not just doing it to a pre-made audience, but you're doing it to a targeted audience that is your
Yeah.
audience.
Yeah. I want to build a community. That's what I want to do. Yeah.
Yeah, so have your own free group.
Yeah.
That would be fantastic. What would you
Yeah.
call
I
it?
haven't done that yet, Martha. Yeah. I don't know, Martha. Yeah. I don't know.
And I suppose for GPs and as well, I suppose, see, you have to think of like, so let's say for a lot of businesses, free groups work, right? But I imagine if I was a GP, I would be very cautious about joining a Facebook group and
Oh, totally.
sharing, so yeah, so how can you do something that is a free group and on what platform?
Yeah.
Very interesting actually.
Yeah. Yeah.
That might be one question that you might ask them tonight.
Yeah.
So, or whenever you do the meeting is, you know, I'm thinking of creating a free group. What platform would you feel safe on to talk openly?
Good idea, actually. Yeah. Ask
So
them.
try
Yeah.
and use your class as a kind of market research as well while you're doing
Yeah.
it, because even
Yeah.
Kim there this morning, Kim ran her Zoom, and I was trying to get a bit of market research out of Laura for her. I asked Laura, I said, well, what did you think of that? And she said, yeah. And first thing she said, of course, was Ella and Emily Jane, her two buddies who normally go to the class, weren't there. And I said, well,
Yeah.
we'll make sure that they're there next time. And I said, well, what did you like about it? She said, I don't know. And then I asked her 2 or 3 times, and she said, Mommy, I said I don't know. And I said, okay. So
back off the research mode.
And so it was just interesting. Her first thing was her familiarity, her friends, what was, and that's okay because it's like doing something new, more for the kids than the doctors, right? It's a lot of them as well may not be used to technology, right? Because they're people, so
For
it's
sure.
so it's kind of asking them as well, what do they need? What do they want? How can, because I saw actually a friend of mine, oh God, let me see if I can find it. A girl I know, I think she's in Australia, and she posted this network. I think it's in the States. She posted this thing in the States, and it's called, where basically a whole group of therapists have got together offering their services for free to nurses and doctors.
Wow.
Oh gosh, I'll see. Let me just see if I can have a quick look. So it's basically they're creating a platform where nurses and doctors can sign up to sessions, if they're having crisis.
Yeah.
I just thought it was an amazing idea. Elroy, Lynn.
It's so needed because I was reading again this lady Pamela Wibble, and she's very involved with this movie that was made in the States about 2 years ago called Do No Harm.
Yeah.
And it's to do with the number of suicides in medicine, and for healthcare workers.
Really?
And the number of suicides in the States already due to coronavirus is actually crazy.
Really?
Yeah. No, I'm serious. There's one story about one nurse where she witnessed 5 deaths on her shift,
and she just couldn't deal with it, and she took her own life, a young nurse. Yeah. So
Oh,
this is very real. And I was reading a post on Twitter this morning. Like I'm connected with loads of GPs, and one GP put up a post. He was on call at the weekend, and he said, I felt so overwhelmed finishing my shift last night that I just welled up, and it just all became so much. It all became too much. So that's really real, you know, this feel of overwhelm, and Christ, the enormity of it, you know.
that that's just unbelievable, because they do.
Isn't it?
Oh my God, to be honest, I didn't even think of suicides or anything like that.
Yeah,
Or
yeah,
oh,
yeah. And
so
my
sad.
sister-in-law over the weekend came off A&E up in Tyrone. She's up in Enniskillen, so very close to home. And she's a midwife actually, but she does the odd shift in A&E.
Yes.
And she came home, and she sent me a message, like she gets home about 8 in the morning or 8:30, and said that it was the most awful night she'd ever experienced, and that she witnessed a 70-year-old who was waiting on a ventilator, FaceTiming his family, and he knew he wasn't going to see them again.
Oh Jesus, that's so sad.
Yeah, and there's nurses and doctors crying everywhere. She said it's just horrendous. So can you imagine the overwhelm?
I saw a girl on the news. I don't know if you saw it on the news yesterday. It was lovely actually, in that she came on and shared her story, because you know, she said her father passed away, herself and her mother were there with him, but she couldn't hold his hand. The mother wanted to get into the bed with him and she wasn't allowed, and like that FaceTimed the rest of the family to say goodbye, and then she said, you know, she said, we had no mass, we had no service, we haven't grieved for him because we can't. And it's just, I think the reality of the crisis and some of the horrible side of it is just, I think it's really coming to the surface. For the rest of us who are, obviously the healthcare workers are seeing it already, right? But when you hear these stories, it just makes it so much more real, you know, and real on such a horrible human level that none of us want to experience, you know. Because yesterday, I haven't been home to Limerick in a couple of weeks, and my parents, they're not, we bought Dad an iPad a couple of years ago, but he just never really got the online call thing. And I was really emotional the last couple of weeks, because I said, what? I said, I can talk to them, but I said, I just need to see them. And I was raging with myself, because 2 weeks ago I wanted to drive down and just wave in the window. And I never thought, I said, oh, I might go next week. And I'm so mad at myself because now I can't. And then by the love of God, I got Dad, I talked him through doing a face call yesterday, and I got to see them. Now the audio didn't work, so I still had to call them and do the audio on the but I
Still, yeah.
actually said, crying, because I said, like, part of me was going, what if I never see them again, like, you know. And stupid thoughts are going through, not stupid thoughts, but I mean the real fears that are going through people's heads right now.
So
and
exactly, they're valid fears. Yeah,
they're really
not valid, but you know, they're not irrational either, you know.
no,
The
they're
people
not
are, yeah,
irrational, but
yeah,
I just can't, I don't think as non-medical people, I don't think we can even begin to understand what the medical, I mean, and I know people are going on streets and they're clapping for them, which is fantastic, but what do they really need? Do you know? I was trying to find
they
that.
do need support. Yeah, I'm actually, I wrote that down. That, I mean, that's an idea in itself,
Yeah.
Martha, to see could I gather, because I mean, there are so many amazing people, aren't there?
Oh,
Even in our other group that could possibly help with this.
exactly, and it's used connections. If I look again later, I can't find the post. I was just looking.
Do.
But when I saw it, I just thought, what an amazing idea. That, if you could have a service where you just, you know what, you book a meditation session, you book an energy healing, or
even clinical psychology or something, you know, just something that they can touch, depending on where they're at.
Exactly.
On what their needs are, and maybe have somebody do a little assessment with them to see what they would like to access or what they think might help them.
Exactly. Yeah. I you know what? Sometimes you could possibly be the founder of something absolutely amazing that that we need in Ireland, you know, because I mean, what I think the one that I saw was New York,
Yeah.
and you know, so definitely, you know, and if you need, I don't know, if you need support in trying to do that, I don't know, I'm happy to talk to you, because if it's something for free for the medical team,
No, it would be free and it would be something for them. Yeah, I
yeah,
do feel they need it because it's just heartbreaking stuff. You know, I was reading another post this morning of a lady, she's 26 weeks pregnant and she's in hospital and she can barely breathe, you know. And she was talking again, just
she
telling her
actually has
story.
it.
She has it, yeah, she's in hospital and she's age 39 and she's 26 weeks pregnant. And it's just heartbreaking stuff, you know.
I know, 'cause
So
I know two people actually, uh, who are due babies, and I'm like going, now I know the maternity, they're, you know, they're quarantined off and everything, but it is a hard time to be pregnant right now, and you know, to be going in for your checkups and your
yeah,
scan, and even my own husband, like he goes for annual scans, they're all been cancelled, you know. So it's the
yeah,
people as well who have things that need to be monitored, that's
I know.
all gone, and I don't blame them. Like, I mean, I'm not complaining, but part
Yeah,
of me is still wondering, like, well, what if we miss something, you know?
I know there's a real fear, and I think doctors are taking on that fear as well. I've one GP that I work with, and she referred somebody to the Mater for a breast screening, and they're not accepting referrals at the moment. You know, and it's just like, well, what's happened to all the people who were sick outside coronavirus? You know,
Exactly, yeah.
and you know, there is that, and sometimes you might just have to fight that bit harder actually, and say, well, actually, no, I really want to get this done because it's important to me for my health that I
I know,
get
because,
checked.
well, because we were saying, like, I was saying, I don't want you going to the hospital, but then I was kind of going, well, we don't want to miss anything either. So, like, you're
Yeah,
trying to weigh up, do you want to catch corona? Do you want to do the scan? You
yeah,
know?
yeah, yeah,
And even for the patients, that's a hard one to weigh up, you know?
yeah, yeah, yeah,
But yeah, and I mean, the thing is as well, I think one of the things, oh, you know what, I think one of the things for all of us as business owners, to,
yeah,
you know, minding ourselves, the responsibility we have for ourselves, the responsibility we have for our clients,
yeah,
the responsibility our clients have. And I think one of the big things that, you know, is boundaries, you know, maybe just for ourselves, writing down what are our own boundaries of minding ourselves.
yeah.
So,
They
and
seem to have gone out the window, I'd say, for a lot of people.
yeah, well, I know that, but
Projects.
I think maybe now it's kind of like, what am I corona minding myself boundaries? Because I
Yeah,
all need boundaries, like, so like setting your working hours, that when you come home, turning off. And
yeah,
even, I mean, you know, I mean, you can do something for your GPs, like how can they turn off? You know, you could even have a guest on for one of your sessions, you know.
yeah.
Um,
That's a good idea.
like, because I mean, I was saying there a couple of weeks ago, I did a video for people who were working from home, and I said,
Yeah,
like I said, if you, because one of the things I used to, like when I first started working for myself, like oh Jesus, I had no boundaries. Um,
yeah,
like even say the group that you're in the SOS online group, and I did comment on one post during the weekend, but I didn't comment on the rest of them because
yeah,
in my head I work Monday to Friday, so this afternoon I
yeah,
went back to commenting on the posts.
yeah,
Um, so it's, and the other thing then in that video that I shared was, if you don't have an office space, throw a towel or a blanket over your computer and your stuff. So when you finish work, whether it's a GP or a nurse, what is your you know, work is finished now, as crazy as whatever shift just happened, you
mm,
know, and how can they create their own process of finishing work, because
yeah.
they probably need a new process now to let it go, you know.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, definitely.
And yeah, so I think we all have
To
to,
talk.
you know, and one of the things I was going to talk about today was, to be honest, I think maybe we'll leave it for another day because I don't think it's suitable, was, you know, our corona goals. But I think maybe today, I think what's really coming out of today is boundaries. What are our new boundaries of working?
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
even though we're in a crisis, even though we're still working, some people are working, some people aren't working, but for business owners who are trying to think of alternative ways to run their business, you still need your boundaries, you know, for your own health. So but just, Kim, do you have any new boundaries you've created for yourself, or do you need to create new boundaries?
Oh, yeah, I do. I need to create. That's why I'm just listening to that now. The boundaries is an important one, because I just don't. I suppose I'm caught up. I'm still caught up in that rat race that I need to be doing more. That I need to be doing more for the kids. I need to be seen more, because there is so much going online and that, you know. So I think I have to just take that step back as being, what I'm doing is enough. I'm taking those steps, and when I'm off, I need to be off. So I'm looking up there now as you were talking. I have this blank schedule in front of me. I'm like, oh, I actually need to fill that out now in a minute.
Yeah, because you need a schedule, don't you? You need a bit of structure.
Yeah,
well,
I have.
Yeah. One of the things that I've done is I've changed. I used to work in the mornings and off in the afternoon. Now I'm in the mornings and I work 1 to 5.
Yeah.
So even just saying, and I was speaking to a friend of mine this morning, and she said, that's even. She said even just saying that. She said that's actually. And it gave me great, because I was trying to do both and I was stressing myself out running between the computer and the desk with the kids, getting the homework done. Whereas now I'm actually present doing the homework, you know, actually doing it properly, having fun with them. So like, even first of all, let's try and create some boundaries for ourselves. Deciding on the hours you're going to work, right?
Okay, yeah.
So let's decide on the hours you're going to work. What hours suit you? It doesn't have to be the same every day. You know, you could say Monday to Thursday I'm going to do this. Friday I'm actually going to take it off. Or, you know, you might do 2 hours in the morning, 2 hours in the afternoon, or whichever. Like, a friend of mine, she was saying there at the weekend, she's getting up at 6:30. She's doing the morning shift. Her husband is then taking over minding the kids. And of course, if you don't have kids, then you have the run of the day. But I'm sure everyone has their own things that pull on them. Even if you don't have kids, you might have parents or animals or pets that you need to mind. So I suppose business hours. And then one thing then, I think sorry, go on, do you want to say something, Kim?
No, you're right. I was only just saying, I think it's great to get everything done in the morning with the kids.
Yeah.
Because they're fresh and they're active. Like, and in the afternoon, they're ready to
unwind. Yeah, they really are. You know, and at least then I don't feel so guilty about giving them TV in the afternoon when I know I have the lessons done, right? The next thing then that I'd say with regard to boundaries is communication. How do people communicate with you, right? So we have so many portals now between Facebook, WhatsApp, text message, and let's say if you've got groups then as well, then you've got groups on top of that, right? So if you're checking all of these different portals, now if it's fine, that's great. But like a couple of things, one of the things actually that, so a couple of people were private messaging me. So one of the things I normally say then is I say, you know, bring the questions back into a group. So if you are getting questions, depending on mode, you know, just decide for yourself, what's the best way that different groups of people can communicate with me, because you want to have, you don't want to be missing messages, right? Because I think actually someone messaged me the other day. So I have my business page Messenger, I have my personal page, WhatsApp, Facebook, and so I know I've even missed messages, right? So that's one thing I'm actually doing this week, is saying, right, these are the ways you can communicate with me.
How are you communicating that, Martha? Sorry. How are you communicating to people the best way to communicate with you?
So one of the things, so I'm going to post in the SOS group. That's one.
Okay.
So that's a group that I'm running at the moment, the SOS.
Yeah.
Today. So I'm going to post in, to be honest, I should have had it done in the description of the group.
Yeah.
I should have had the guidelines. I have it in Global Online Stars group.
Yeah.
I didn't put it in there.
Okay.
And in the welcome email to the group, I'm going to say, this is how I support you. And also what's really important is, this is how I support you, and this is how I don't support you. There isn't email support, there isn't this, or whatever, but there is this, right? So it's just as important to tell people how they're not supported, so they understand, you know. So like if you tell them, okay, you can post in the group, or you can text me, or whatever, and then they email you, And if that's something you've decided you're not going to support people with, then so say this is what we don't do, but this is how you can contact us. You know, because then it makes it really crystal clear for everyone. Do you know what I mean? And so I think, so the first thing we talked about there was our boundaries of our hours, then boundaries of our communication. And then let me see, any other kind of boundaries? Any other boundaries you can think of?
Just, I suppose, your own time, like, you know, your boundaries of your self-care, your time for you, or getting there, you know?
Yeah. Like
point.
Friday night, I told my husband, I said, I'm having tonight to myself. I was dyeing my hair. Do you like it?
Gorgeous. Like it.
I was dyeing my hair and meeting my friends online, right? And it was so funny. I was up in the bathroom with this, and I was using this new natural hair color, and I was laughing to myself, hoping it doesn't turn out green. But anyway, you know, the kids were coming into the bathroom. I said, this is mommy time, and it really reminded me actually when the girls were babies. Because I breastfed, John used to always give me Friday night off. So Friday night they used to always get the bottle, and Friday night was my night. So I used to go upstairs and have a bath or whatever I wanted to do. And it really made me think, I said, why did I stop that? You know, just because they're not babies doesn't mean I shouldn't have that night off, you know. So I totally agree. Like, we all have to have our own time, you know, self-care, personal time. And that's really important. Like, you may think, well, why do business owners want that? But I think if we are not kind to ourselves, it shows in how we show up. You know, if you're too tired, if you're, you know, and it's funny, I had one drink last night. It's funny, I honestly, do you know what? I don't really drink that much, but we're doing all these online meetups now, and I'm going, I have to really watch this. Because, like, I had a drink last night, and to be honest, the vodka I poured was probably size
treble.
And I felt it this morning, and I went, oh, geez.
I'd be on my ear.
And I actually had, I don't know, this is why I put on a scarf today. I had a rash on my neck today because of having a drink last night. Because I never, like, I probably hadn't drank in, I'd say, I don't know, 6 to 10 months before that, like. And I just noticed it this morning. I went, I said, I don't want to feel like that. And I realized now why I kind of had laid off the drink a bit, because laid off, he swears, an alcoholic, but you know what I mean? I just realized that, hang on, this is new to me now. And I said, I don't want to feel like this on a Monday morning. You know, so watching our new social patterns of how we're enjoying ourselves at the weekend and how it's affecting our work week, you know. So like, it's all great to connect online and everything. So I suppose we have boundaries of time, we have boundaries of communication, we have boundaries of minding ourselves, we have boundaries of socializing and how it affects our work week. And let me see what else we can create. Yeah, I'm not sure. If you think of any other like, what boundaries does your business need? One great one, actually, boundaries of team, communication with your team. So there's communication with your clients, and then there's communication with your team. So if your team didn't have online communication before, you know, teaching them about that, and also making sure as well that if you're doing Zoom calls, so I told you at the top of this hour that this call was recorded, you know, so like, helping your staff understanding that if you're doing a Zoom and if it is recorded, that they're communicating security, security boundaries, privacy boundaries, what's private, what's not private, and then making sure that if they need private settings, that you tell them, okay, this is not recorded. You'll know by the red dot at the top. And you can even show them where you click recording and then on-click it to make them feel safe that it's not recorded, right? I'm not saying to make a big issue of it, but just some people could be very odd about that. Not odd.
Oh yeah, it's always one or two that would be.
Yeah. So
just to share it, I think there's a thing on this week that Galway chamber, but I don't know if it's limited to Galway, on managing teams remotely. they're doing a free
I
webinar.
saw that actually.
Yeah.
Is it Galway Chamber is doing it?
I think it's, and I think actually SkillNet are running it on behalf of Galway Chamber. But I think it's on Thursday, and it's an online webinar.
Brilliant,
It might be.
brilliant.
Yeah.
Share it out.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's just, I think, do you know what? I think it's really interesting to even just having this conversation is making me think about my own boundaries, you know, and boundaries of relationships then, but that's a whole other conversation. Right?
Let's not go there.
Can that be in the business package? No.
Yeah, I know.
What did you say?
Can that be in the business package? No.
I know, but it's funny though, because it does affect, like, you know, how you get your work done, and the time.
Yeah.
Of the time and sharing the personal responsibility, so you get, you know, anyway. I have to say we won't
it's not easy. No.
we'll need the wine online one for that conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. I was going to say something, but I realized I'm on record, so I can't.
Yeah, we're all staying still.
Yeah.
I can pause the recording now. I'm joking, I won't.
No, but, I get the whole time, and I actually feel at the moment I'm starting to go into this. Sounds awful now, right? I'm starting to go into panic mode that this time is going to end and I won't have made the most of it.
Do you know that thought actually crossed my head, and that's why I was in the shower, my thinking place, and that's why I was going to talk about Corona goals today. And I messaged actually Linda Ford, who is a goals expert, and she works with people setting her goals. So she might come on tomorrow maybe. And so like I was saying, like, first of all, one of my goals is not to turn like fucking Corona stones, you know, because I could feel me eating more and not doing as much exercises. And then I said, exact same thing, Kim. I said, what if it ended and I didn't? Like, it's a great opportunity to achieve other things, you know.
Well, it really is.
Isn't it?
It really is. Yeah, I'm exactly the same as you. I can relate to that completely.
Yeah. So I'm never going to get this time off again, ever.
Ever.
No, ever. Yeah, ever.
No.
Yeah.
And
It's all right.
Hire somebody or pretend that someone died, I will never get this time off again.
No, totally not. And like, you have no control over it, but yet we have every control over it.
Yeah. And I think, to be honest, I see it going on for around 6 months anyway, you know.
Yeah.
Sorry guys, I really do, without depressing anyone, but so what would you like to achieve, Kim? Let's talk it out.
No, I really would like to be able to see, to be able to connect with the value of this time.
Yeah.
I'm not getting it. I'm actually going into overdrive. I'm going into, like, I'm telling you there, my back is sore, my shoulder's sore. These are things I know that are saying to me, Kim, we're trying to get you to slow down, but you're not. You're going the other way.
Do you know what I want to share with you? There's a guy, he's kind of my personal coach, if you want to call him that. And he's doing a webinar on Sunday and Wednesday nights. It's all about personal power and meditation. Actually, it'd be good for your GPs as well. His name is Greg Muller, and his website is leadthepack.net. And if you email him, hang on, let me just check it out so that I have the right details. He needs to get, he's not that technically, so if you email him, he'll send you an invite to the webinar. You have to email him to get the invite, unfortunately.
For Wednesday evening, is it, Martha?
It's Wednesday 7:30 and Sunday night. Now I missed Sunday night because I was having me vodka toddy with my friends. I swear, lads, it's very dangerous. Really, I felt like coming down when I saw the rash in my neck this morning. I felt like coming down, pouring the vodka down the drain. That's the way I felt. I just thought, oh, this is not for me.
Don't leave it outside the door. I collect it.
You'll have to scrub it. Let me see. I'm just going to get Greg's email so that I have.
I love how you have your pop-up behind you. I must start doing that actually. I must actually put up my pop-up behind me.
Yeah, I need to
Get some use out of it.
yeah, I need to get a new one actually. The one
Great idea.
it is.
I
It's
remember
really
I
good.
do videos here from time to time, and I just leave it up now.
That's a great idea. No, I must do that actually.
Actually, here's one for you, Kim. Right, because you leave it up, is it visually always on your mind? Should you put it
No, it
down?
probably is. I probably should put it
Should you
down.
put it down at 9 o'clock? And then whenever you close, 6 o'clock, put it down. In the morning, shops open, shops closed.
Yeah, very true.
Yeah.
Actually, I never looked at it like that.
But that's another kind of like, what are our visual boundaries around it?
Yeah.
And is someone giving you goujons? Sometimes.
No. I'm just gonna answer the question. I don't want that now. I
Yeah,
don't want that now. No.
I'm trying to see Greg's email on his website. Yeah, I think it's Greg at leadthepack.net. I think that's
Okay.
it.
Okay. I'll look up.
So just email him, and if you can't, if you don't hear back from him, let me know, and I'll sort it out. But
That's a huge worry. That's a huge fear. I feel like it's going to go, and I won't have made the most of it. I won't have it any time.
Yeah.
so like what? Okay, so if you have 6 months, let's say we've 6 months of this Corona time. Let's say we've 3 months, right? Let's make it smaller. 3 months. What would you like to achieve?
I would love all my courses up online. I feel like I need to have them up tomorrow so people can access them. Do you know that kind of way?
But you can't do that. You're not going to have them up tomorrow.
Yeah, I know. I know.
So be realistic.
Yeah, I think I need to set down what courses I have.
Yeah.
And divide them into sections and divide them up over 3 months.
Exactly. Chunk it out.
Yeah, back.
Yeah.
What do you have to do?
Well, do you know what? Okay, so the first thing is make a plan.
Yeah.
Make a plan.
Yeah.
Make a 12-week plan.
I actually love even you said 3 months Corona time, because actually, isn't it?
It is, because it's like, like as much as a negative, and I'm not taking the seriousness off this at all, but it is like, because like one of the things that I wanted to do, I'm laughing at you, you have your business now. I do have a business goal as well, but the first thing was like, I really want to, I said if I did my abs every day, how would I look by the end of
Wow.
And because like I really have a tummy that I want to sort out, and so for me, like, and my sisters were trying to do this ab challenge, and so that's one personal thing. Now of course I did it the other day, but I do need to do it every day. Like for my business, I have 2 groups that I want to grow, and I think like one of the things for me was, like, I was writing a book before this started. I was doing really well writing every day, and then the last 2 weeks I haven't written a page, and I actually feel it. I feel, because even writing that book for me, it's a bit of personal therapy, even just getting it out. So I want to go back to doing that. So for me, how do I make that happen? One of the things is going to bed early, getting up early, and getting back into a better routine. Cut the vodka.
Yeah.
And so I think so. So they're my goals: the groups, the book, the abs. What are yours, Assumpta?
Mine is to cut through all the stuff that I have and try and organize it, because I have enough information to publish a set of encyclopedias on my OneDrive. So I want to try and kind of like divide all that up and put it into categories, and then see what do I need, what do I not need, but know where to find it, because I have such gold in there. I have absolute gold, and then I have gold in places like this, where I have pages and pages and pages of amazingness from people like yourself, Martha, from people that I meet and I've met on the webinars, and I've it all written down that I now need to go through and think, right, what did I say I would action? What did I say I would apply? Number 2. And number 3 is to get online by the end of Corona time.
Yes.
That rhymes.
That nearly rhymes. Get online by the end of Corona time.
Yeah.
But the thing is, right, is that I think this is giving businesses, a real universal kick to do things differently. And, I think those who actually move with it will find they'll not only grow their business and their audience, but I think that, like, showing up now in a whole new way is giving people a real opportunity to don't want to sound corny, but open their heart in a new way and allow themselves to kind of nearly not turn off the business head, but just fucking help people. Do you know what I mean? And I think when you do that, you know what, you're going to reach so many more people on a whole new level, you know. So yeah, so you want to get, so all this collection of stuff that you want to audit, what do you want to do with it? Will you know when you finish auditing?
Yeah, I have so much stuff that I've gathered over time, and most of it I've forgotten about, and I know I've got some really good things in there. So some of it I want to say, well, like for example, I have like so many resources in terms of what I can apply for online learning.
Yes.
So I want to be able to subcategorize what's this for, what's that for. Like I have like folders that have training resources, and so mishmash, but there's so much in it. I have resources that I've downloaded for the last 2 years that are just gold, that I can use for teaching, for creating PDFs and all sorts, you know. So I want to just subcategorize the stuff. Personal development, what's there that's for personal development. And there's so many things I have. It's unbelievable the amount of stuff I have. I know I have, but it just every time
you've created.
No, it's stuff that I've downloaded as well, stuff I've learned, courses I've been on, workshops I've attended, mentors I've worked with. You know.
The one thing I would say to you, because definitely it's really good to keep out. Like one thing I do is I have a document called my logins. Right, my logins to anything I purchase. If I purchase something new, it goes into that document, right? But one of the things I'd be very careful on is it's really important to gather all the stuff that you have accumulated from other people, right? But I would be spending the majority of your time gathering the stuff that you have created. So that you can repurpose it.
For stuff.
So that you can repurpose it and put it out there. So just be careful of anytime using our Corona time, when we make a decision of how we're going to spend it, always saying, well, is that getting me towards my goal of getting my stuff online, right? So, or getting to whatever your goal is, right? So, because you could get lost in going through all the stuff that you have gathered over the years, right? But, whereas I think I would be worried that you could lose too much time rather than going through your own stuff and actually getting your own stuff online.
Well, all I want to do really is actually just subdivide them, you know, for stuff. So so they're all over the place. You know.
No, I know, and it's good, to be honest. I'm doing an office detox, but I'm also doing I need to do a laptop detox.
That's what I want to do.
Not only a laptop detox, but I've got stuff on Amazon, I've got stuff on Google Drive, I've got stuff on Dropbox, and it's just
I don't want to do a deep dive into any of it just now. I just want to sort it.
No, exactly. But yeah, so I think, do you know what? Even just talking it out here is
it's really good.
I think it's good because it's creating space in our heads for, you know, allowing that conversation to continue after we get off this call, you know. So
it's not urgent, you know. It's not urgent that everything is done right away. It's not
exactly.
You know, that's the thing about it. That's what I put down there. Like, the most important thing I think at the moment now is actually getting sleep and eating properly. I mean, I think I need to actually start that, because I'm starting to not function well. You know, I'm getting angry at people that are like in my house that are doing good. Like my husband, he's still exercise goals. He'll still get on the bike and go for a cycle. He'll do his sit-ups there, like right in front of me when I'm in the heat. You know, I'm like,
you see, always do that.
Always. Like, you know, and I'm looking at him going, how has this not affected you? You know, how can you like continue?
Can I tell you? Because I have something similar here, right? And because last week, I was going to bed and I said to my husband, I was stressed. The whole thing was coming on top of me, and like I had 4 days of diarrhea, I hate even saying that publicly, but I did. And I think it was the fear was literally going through me. And I said, what do you think about all this? And he said, well, there's nothing you can do. And he like turned over, you know, and I'm like going, yeah, but are you not worried? Are you not? Yeah, exactly. I was like, hang on, I'm not finished this conversation.
No.
Not finished my meltdown.
No, exactly. And he said, but there's nothing you can do. And then I just sat back and went, there's nothing I can do. And I was like going, okay. So like he's clockwork, goes to bed at the same time every night, gets up at the same time every morning. And this is why, you know, he works really well because he does not break his routine, you know, and I was just like, oh, okay, there's nothing I can do apart from, to say, this online coffee break is my give back hour, right? Because it's just providing space for people. We show up, we have a chat, and that's it. But yeah, so I think, I don't want to paint them all with the same brush, but they're not as empathic or absorb as much feelings. I mean, I'm quite a sensitive soul anyway, so I do feel like, even I'm watching the news there the other night, and like your one talking about her father, I was bawling in the kitchen, bawling. And you know, I try not to, but I just, a lot of things affect me that way. Like my kids are always going, Mommy, are you crying again? You know, it's just the way I work. And so I think we have to kind of say, you know, how do we work? But I think take a bit of that masculinity as well. You know, there's nothing we can do. Show up and help as much as we can, but you know, leave it at the end of the day. Because
I said to him actually yesterday, you know, he's a beverage, he works and putting out stock or whatever. And I said to him, I said, thank God you're an essential worker. I said, because we wouldn't get through this. I said, you'd have to be living down in your mother's. And he went, we both know that's not possible. She's in her 80s.
Oh, you'd be homeless.
You're
right. You're going to have to stick with it. I'm going to have to stick with you till the end of this.
But I said, there's either going to be new babies, divorces, murder. You know, we have to learn to survive this, you know.
Yeah, we will.
I think taking a bit. So what time do you go to bed at, Kim?
Oh, I'm a disaster. It could be 1 or 2 o'clock now in the morning these days.
Wow.
That, because I used to do that, and I tell you, if I could give you, because it's like for the first 5 years of my, probably the first 4, maybe 5 years of my online business, I used to stay up till 2-3 o'clock every night, right? And like my babies were even younger back then, right? And it killed me. Like, this is why I have the weight on that I have, because I just got completely out of routine. And if there's anything I've learned, especially from SelfCare, is that clockwork works. And get in your sleep, get up at 6 o'clock, get up at 5 o'clock, but be in bed. You know, if he hears me saying this now, he'll laugh, because I have to still really work at it, because I love the quiet time, especially when they're all in bed, the house to yourself. Oh Jesus, I love it. And I understand it. My mother does it as well. She stays up late as well. I could stay up till all hours, like. What about you, Sumta? What's your bed hour?
11, half 11. Last week getting up at 7, like every single day. This morning 8 o'clock, and I was like, no, I need to go back to 7 o'clock again, because that suits me. That's when I always got up. You know, and I need to go back to my 7.
And like, these are the things we've control over.
Yeah.
It's you know, and like, if we can kind of keep some form of routine. So Kim, I think, I swear, bed, and I'm saying that to myself now as well.
Try.
I have to.
I'm going to make my way up there at 10 o'clock and try and read or something.
What's that?
I'm going to make my way up there at 10 o'clock and try and read or something.
Set a reminder on your phone, bedtime. Like, I have a buddy, and we were trying to keep each other accountable, and if I stood up past 10:30, I'd pay him 50 quid.
Oh.
Your friends are ripping you off right, left and centre. They know you're not going to do that.
Kim, I'll be your buddy. I'll do it for less. I'll do it for
We'll barter. We'll barter.
€40.
Exactly. But yeah, so like keep yourself accountable somehow, you know. Have a bedtime buddy. That's not your husband.
I know, yeah.
But like, and you know, if he goes early, you know, go together. You know, and
Yeah.
it's funny. It's funny. Here's the thing. We'll wrap this call up soon now because we're kind of gone over. But here's the thing: is that I used to stay up late all the time, and I didn't realize they miss you.
Yeah.
You know, even if it's just the kiss and the cuddle, good night.
Yeah.
They do miss you, and you're missing out on that part of your marriage as well. It's only a small thing, but it's a big thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I didn't realize it. He never said it that way, but it was kind of like, yeah. So
yeah, my brother, you know, he has 8 kids, and he says he'll never go to bed without his wife. I said,
no one do I. Okay, make sure if you are going to bed early, you'd be good.
On that note.
note, we're all going to bed at home.
No, otherwise we'll get on to the next hour. We're bringing the wine out. Anyway,
I'm turning off the recording.
Turning off the recording, exactly. So thanks for joining. Do you know what? I think it was actually a bit of breath of fresh air. I think we talked about goals, we talked about boundaries, we talked about marriage.
Yeah, it was good.
And these are
sorry I was late.
No, it's all right. I was late starting anyway.
Were you? Okay.
No, my own tech didn't work, and actually something that happened, just to tell you this lesson, I had set this webinar link to finish last Friday. So when I went to start it, it said expired. So I had to go back into the settings and reset when it would end as a recurring meeting, so that I could start it again. So tech tip. Anyway, so thanks for joining today. I hope anyone who's watching back, you have a bit of a laugh, and you live sometime. So talk to you soon, girl.
Talk to you soon. Thank you. Have a good day.
Bye-bye.